Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Libra. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with a Thoth deck, and what we see on the bottom of the deck is going to represent what you don't see coming. And once we get an idea of what the general message of this reading is going to be, we're going to pull 3 cards from the shadow deck to see what's going on in your subconscious and to see if there are any further clarifications we might need. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so today we are tuning in to the sign of Libra. So if that is your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, or however else you choose to identify today with the sign of Libra, you can use that as a way to interpret the messages that are coming through. And if the details do not fit, do not try to force them. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if none of the details are seeming to fit your life or situation, that's okay. You can always check your other placements, or you can stick around and see what's going on in the world of other Libras. So let's see what we have today. Let's try that again. There we go. So what things should we think about today? What things should we meditate upon? Are there any warnings that we need? Are there things that we should look out for? Are there things that we should look forward to? Are there perhaps positive things that we could put our energy into, or directions we can move towards to make our life a little bit more positive and enjoyable? What messages do we need today for those who are trying to tap into the energy of the sign of Libra? So let's get one more good shuffle, and then we'll see what our Celtic cross has to say today. All right. Feels pretty good. Let's do a little bit more. Okay, that feels good. So let us see what we have today. So we start in the present moment with the Two of Swords. Peace. This can be restful, or it can be a feeling of being stuck. But this is a situation where you have two possibly opposing thoughts that are pulling you possibly in two different directions. Neither one of them is objectively or obviously better than the other, and so it's not clear how to move forward with whatever this is. If it's some choice you have to make or something you have to resolve, there's no clear path forward. So a lot of times when I see this card, what I like to think of is it's time to perhaps take a reflection upon where we're at, look at the situation as a whole, and maybe try to zoom out so that we can see that whatever contradictions or conflicts or opposing forces that are seemingly at equal power levels, if we can zoom out and possibly see how we got to that situation, perhaps we can transcend whatever has us stuck. Okay, so it's not inherently a bad situation, but it's a place where we have two thoughts that have come together, and rather than synthesizing into a new third thought, they seem to just sort of be stuck in a sort of like neutralized space. So again, not bad, not good. But usually if we want to move forward, we do need to get past this in some way. And as I said, my perspective is it's nice to zoom out when you're in a situation like this. But let's see what this is. Let's get a little more context. What crosses you is the Queen of Cups. Maybe it's love. Maybe your heart is being pulled in different directions. Maybe deep down, you really have a sense of the things that are important to you and the things that you know are going to help you grow and become stronger, the things that really nurture you and water you like a plant. There's external forces that give you energy, that allow you to expand, and perhaps it's not clear how to get that in the appropriate way. I mean, maybe there are multiple ways that this comes to you, and the choice has to be between what path you take in order to reach that deepest, most fulfilling cup, or that person or thing that is the bearer of that deepest, most important cup to you. So, interesting. Let's see where we have Going around this. Okay, we have a Princess of Cups. That's the offer. And the Knight of Discs, looking at things practically. Art, Temperance at the bottom. All right, we have the Three of Swords there at the top. That's difficult. Ten of Cups, a Devil, and a Prince of Cups. We've got like the whole family here, the whole water family, right? The only thing we're missing here is the Knight. Watch this be the Knight. Oh, it's not. It's a different Knight. It's the Knight of Swords. Okay, yeah, we need the Knight of Cups. He's not here. We have the Knight of Swords instead. Perhaps you're being a little too logical and not letting your heart carry you forward. You're surrounded by love. You're almost drenched in love, but perhaps you're failing to see that. Okay, let's get a sense of what is going on here. So we've got, in terms of our major arcana, we have the Art or Temperance card, which is a beautiful card to have underneath everything. That energy within you is like you're a furnace, and taking in experiences and thoughts and forging beautiful things with yourself. That's fantastic. A little less fantastic is we have the Devil in your environment. That definitely symbolizes some blockage, and so we want to get past that. If we can brew art within us, we want to make sure we can take that out into the world. And if we're stuck in devil energy, we might be hiding that and not, shining our true light in a way that could really help people. Okay, so that's our major arcana. In terms of our other cards here, we have, for court cards, we have almost the entire family of water, right? We have the princess, we have the queen, we have the prince. The only person there we do not have is the knight, but we do have a knight of swords. So again, I think that the sort of crowning pinnacle of your emotional well-being is not being felt emotionally, it's being felt mentally. And I think perhaps that's probably the cause of this devil energy, but we'll get to that in a minute. We also have a Knight of Discs, so I guess it's also worth noting that of the knights, we're missing the knight and the suit of cups, but we have two other knights to replace them, the Knight of Discs and the Knight of Swords, which are very much more practical knight cards. Being in control of your physical environment, being very strong and in control of your finances, maybe having a strong entrepreneurial kind of stretch to your thinking, and being very clever and on point, and really seeing things as they are, but maybe not necessarily going for them. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So you definitely know what you need to be doing, or at least you have a pretty good sense of what is a positive place to be moving towards, but perhaps you're not moving towards it because you're not listening to your heart. But again, we'll see. We'll get there. So that's our court cards. In terms of our energies otherwise for the minor arcana, we also have a Ten of Cups to fill out the rest of the court family of cups here. We have two cards from the suit of swords. We have the 2 and the 3, peace and sorrow. So extending that deadlock into a 3 above us, but in what seems like a painful way. So again, I'll get to that in a minute. And let's see, we then have for earth, we have just the knight, and for fire, no fire. You need some fire. You need some passion. That's what. Okay, if we have this furnace here inside of us, this temperance card, it needs some fire to get it going. I think you're stuck. I think you're in a quiet, cold, stuck place, and you need a little bit of fire to get your passion back, and that's going to help you move towards this emotional energy that I think you're kind of being a little resistant to. But okay, we'll get to that. I'm getting ahead. So in the present moment, we have the 2 of Swords. Right, we have here this deadlock crossed by the Queen of Cups. I think you want to move towards love, but you either don't know how, or you're afraid to, or there's something blocking you from doing it. And you know exactly what that nurturing, powerful energy is, I think. It's just you're not sure how to get to it. It's like you see this beautiful Queen of Cups waiting for you on the other side of some gate, a gate that you've likely created with your own thoughts, and it's got you stuck. And that's what we want to move towards. So in the timeline here, in the horizontal axis, we've got the Princess of Cups is the bearer of whatever this is. I think these are the same person for you, or the same idea at least, where love was offered, something that really inspired you. This is the Princess of Cups is the bearer of pure water energy. She is not the energy itself, but the source from which it is presented. Okay, she's the carrier of it, and that's what she's carrying there. Is that shell is the birth of some new emotionally resonating opportunity or experience for you, and it probably inspires you in a very creative way. There's a bit of playful goofiness in the Princess of Cups that's always really nice. Um, but this matures, this grows, this leads us to not just playful, fun, emotional, like this feels good kind of energy, but something that is sustainable and long lasting, something that is not just a passion, but a love that is something that is like a nurturing sort of mutual respect and help, and that it's the there's a practical side to it as well that comes from a certain amount of maturity, and that's what we move from with the princess to the queen, is the mature side of that emotion. But it's blocked by the two of swords, whatever that is, whether that's internal, whether it's circumstantial. There's something that's keeping you from getting through this cage to get to that thing that you really want. And with the Knight of Discs following it, I think perhaps your response to this is to be very practical and to say, okay, well, if I can't get through that gate, if I can't resolve these unresolvable swords, these two things that are clashing, if I can't rip them apart, like if they're forever joined, blocking me from what I'm going to go towards, then I'm going to be very practical and I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to make my physical world, the things that I'm bringing into my reality, as bountiful as possible. But I don't think that's exactly what you want to go towards. It's what you feel like you have to go towards instead. It's like you're going down a tunnel and you see something you want and you want to go towards it, but it's not available to you. It's blocked. So you say, well, I can sit here and I can stare at that, or I can move forward and try to create the best version of myself. And honestly, that's not a bad way to go, because, if you stop and you work on yourself and the things you're doing, whatever it is that is being withheld from you will likely become more likely to come towards you. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to get exactly what you want or anything like that. That's not how that works. Some things are meant to be, some things are not. But if you work on yourself and do the best that you can to make your environment as bountiful as possible, then the things that are meant for you will naturally start to come towards you. You just have to seize on them once those opportunities are presented to you. So that's the Knight of Disc is a great way to respond to this difficulty. If you have this beautiful thing that you can't get to, work on yourself and be in command of your life, and then when the right thing that's meant for you comes along, you'll be able to take it confidently and with real power, and it'll have more meaning to it as well because you really worked for it, kind of thing. And I think this is maybe part of why we have the art or temperance card underneath. This is like a card of alchemy here. It's temperance. You need to make sure you're in balance. It is a card of making sure that you're not doing more of one extreme or another. But I really see it as the forge of whatever it is that is the beauty of your life. If you are a creative person, if you're a very practical person, whatever it is you do that you're good at, the art card is where you develop those skills and build them and get better with them. And so that's what is underneath all of this, is this art card. This is the furnace that's helping you move away from feeling stuck about what you can't have and moving towards being constructive about the things you can control and take care of in your life. Now, what is missing here is passion, for sure. There's no fire in this reading. I definitely feel you need something that's going to inspire you. You're doing the work to become the Knight of Discs. You're putting in the time, the effort, and that's great. But you got to feel it too. You can be the best at what you do and feel completely empty inside. Just because you're doing a great job doesn't mean it's fulfilling. So we have this potentiality to do great things, but we need more than just a practical mindset. We need to do things that make us feel inspired. And I think that's probably hard, because I get the vibe that you've walked away from something that was inspiring to you, and now you're maybe apprehensive to sort of fill that cup back up now that it's missing. And that is why I think we have the Three of Swords above all of this. This is the mental side of difficult emotional situations. This is the mental side of emotional pain. You feel it, it hurts, but there is a side of us that doesn't just feel those situations, that has to sit and analyze them. As rational beings, we have to make sense of our lives and our situations. It's just how we work. And that's what the Three of Swords represents, is that when we are in these difficult emotional situations, this is the rational mind either poking around to make sense of, or taking and extracting ideas from whatever it is that got us to this difficult situation. And I kind of feel this as you've got a wound that you want to heal, but you're afraid to go in and clean it out and work on it. So it's just this thing that's sort of, you're trying to not pay attention to it, but it's like forever in front of your mind or your thoughts, and you don't want to feel that pain. So you're maybe that's why there is this Two of Swords gate here, is we're putting up a wall that's preventing us from taking that 2 and moving to a 3 and taking that time to actually go in, almost like a surgery, right? Where we take the tools and we have to go into there and clean the wound out so that it can heal and we can move forward in a more positive way. That's what I'm feeling from this whole double axis here, right? I feel like something very positive came into your life. Something has either taken it away or put an obstruction to it. And so we're dealing with this by trying to not think about it so much and trying to be more practical and grounded as a substitute. And again, the grounded substitute is fantastic, but don't ignore your problems at the same time. If we really want to do the best, we need to fire this forge up, and that's going to require us to get some fire. And we're not going to get that fire if we're putting our emotions on the back burner, right? So in the present, we have here the Ten of Cups, and that's great. It's actually a little surprising based on everything I just said, because here it feels like we're almost a little cold. We don't have any fire, but this is feeling satisfied. So perhaps what this is saying is that this is how you feel, but maybe it's not quite the full picture. There is a little bit of the Ten of Cups that's a little almost disappointing. It's fulfillment, it's emotional fulfillment, and perhaps this is what you are now seeking as you get more involved in whatever your work is that you're trying to accomplish. And so you're attaching yourself more to those grounded physical goals, and those are making you feel successful. You're feeling like you're really in the flow state. But I feel like we are kind of at a plateau. So as great as this card feels and looks, there's no room for forward expansion. And that's, if we're really feeling like there's something that we can't get access to, and so we're moving away from it, that's not bad, but like, we need to be able to grow so that we can bring in even better things into our lives in the future. If this is as good as it gets, then it may be good now, but for how long is that 10 going to stay nice and clean and fulfilling? We need to go past that, and we want to go past that. And perhaps that's also what the devil is here, is to show you that I actually almost feel like the devil is trying to explain the sort of dark side of this card. It's trying to say that this is the warden of this cage that you're in, and it's a little surprising that this feels like a negative cage-like experience, because it's the Ten of Cups. It's satiated, but you're full, and you're never going to be able to consume and get stronger and move forward if you've hit that final road, that final block. If you're at the end of the road, that's it. It's the end of the road. And I think the devil here is to let us know that that is part of what this card is saying for you in the current moment, is that although you're putting your energy into things that are helping you be successful and you're killing it, you're doing great, you want to keep going. You don't want that to be all. So it's almost as if we need to take one of these cups down and look at it. And I think that's what the Three of Swords is it's painful to when we're in a good place, you don't want to question it, right? Because you're in a good place. It feels like everything's going great. Why would I want to make this worse? Well, maybe you could be in a better place. Maybe there is something above and beyond this. How did this 10 get to an 11? Well, it can't, but you can take one of these cups down, look at it while it's a 9, which, hey, 9s are pretty awesome too, but you can take that cup and make sure you really inspect and make sure that they're all being filled with the things that really make you feel that what you perceive, at least, to be this Ten of Cups energy. That's what the devil here is calling us to do, is to really reflect on the idea of, are we really at our maximum happiness, or is this just a good enough happiness. Okay? And so then the challenge is the Prince of Cups. And I think this is you. I think this is you wanting to go back out and seek whatever was left behind here in this emotional world with the Queen of Cups and the Princess of Cups. Again, I see this as like a progression. Something or someone that was important, that became an even more important thing to you that was then sort of withheld. And so you're still seeking whatever that feeling or idea was and what that represents to you. And as the Prince of Cups, you want to go back out and offer your ability. It's like you want to show the world that you are still open and willing to receive that kind of energy, even if you're not in that place at the moment. And that's why it's this challenge. So it's like we're in Ten of Cups mode, but we have this devil energy and this Prince of Cups here. This is leading up to something we have to overcome. Again, I think it's realizing that, maybe if we have everything worked out and everything's going really well, we really want something to add to that, whether that's to share it with another person or to expand it further, or maybe give back to your community, whatever that might be for you. But I see that as being the challenge is once you get all these cups and you get this, foundation of like physical security and your wealth and your resources, how good is it if you can't share it, so then with the Knight of Swords at the end of all of this, again, I think the idea here is of all the knights, we've got the discs and we have the swords, but we do not have the Knight of Cups feeling grounded in your emotions. The challenge is the Prince of Cups, and I think what you want to get to is the King of Cups. You want to feel grounded and in control of your emotions rather than them controlling you the other way. If you're in this place where you're afraid to look at difficult situations, you're letting that control you rather than being in control of it, right? We have to be confident and willing to look at things that are painful for the sake of growth. And so we're going to have to take that energy of the Knight of Swords and we're going to have to dive in headstrong into what it is that's challenging us and really do that work of figuring out what the blockage is. What is it that's keeping us from really being able to enjoy what should be full emotional happiness? But if we're not quite feeling that, then we need to figure out what's wrong. Is there some wiring that needs to be replaced? Try to get into the circuitry and fix all that up and try to get things going as smooth and positive as possible. Okay, so that's what I'm getting from this. Let's see what we don't see coming. The Ace of Cups, right. Again, I think this is a plateau that you don't want to be in. You want the chase of growing. You're really wanting a Nine of Cups. When you hit the Ten of Cups, you just feel like, well, now what? And you want to move forward and either offer or receive more emotional energy. Because what set all of this in motion, what sort of kicked you into wanting to do this is not being able to connect with something that you know is very emotionally nurturing for you. And so you're going to get back to it. You're going to find this new cup, but you got to keep an open mind. Do the work on the inside of you. Don't just be working on the physical, practical side of your life. Work on your internal life as well. Make sure you're looking at your thought processes and understanding why you're acting and doing the things you're doing, and then you can kind of identify what it is that you can try to change or get better at in order to bring your life up to a 11, right? We want a 10 plus 1. We want to get to 11. We want to turn the 10 into something that feels more like a 9, but a really good, powerful 9. Okay, and that's what we have to break away from with this stuck blockage devil energy. And I think part of it, I really think, because there's no fire energy, I think a core part of the issue here is passion. You're doing everything because it's what you need to do, but you're not doing necessarily what you really feel in your heart is the thing that drives you forward. You need some fire to really get that forge going, and then you'll be able to do awesome, awesome stuff. So, all right, let's see what's in the shadow deck. All right, so we're just going to pull 3 cards from this real fast to see what is going on in your subconscious. Shuffle. I hope we get some fire energy. I hope there's some fire energy kicking around in you that you're just not tapping into. Three of Cups, the Tower, the Empress. Oh, that's not what I expected at all. Interesting. So Three of Cups is like celebration. This is wanting to share your cups with other people, which I get that vibe for sure. Again, I feel like you're almost like emotionally cut off from people. You feel a lot, but you're not sharing those feelings with other people. I definitely get that vibe. So inside of you, I think, is a desire to do that, and something's got to give. Something's got to break. You're holding all of that emotional energy inside of you, and eventually, it's like like the dam is going to break, and all that water is going to come pouring out if you don't do something about it. So with the Empress there, it's moving towards an energy in your life that is going to allow you to nurture your strengths and your creativity. I think this is, in some sense, like another sort of version of what I'm picking up from the art card here. There's a forge within you. This is the fire that creates it, and like this is how things are actually like melted down and then burned. And then the Empress is where the care to the detail of nurturing those things is as they become as they grow and develop in whatever beautiful thing you're trying to put into the world. So again, I feel like you need to tap into your creative side. Perhaps that will help you with whatever is keeping you blocked with your emotions. Maybe you are someone who cannot directly speak on those emotions, but if you are able to sort of create them in another form, put all of those feelings into something that you can share that expresses your actual intentions, maybe that's a more constructive way to get that emotional energy out of you. Don't try to do it just with words if that's not your mode of communication. Find whatever it is that you are able to build artistically to express your feelings, and that'll get that flow going again. And let's see what we got here. Two of Cups, union. Yeah, you want love. You're craving love. Either you had it and you don't, or you're not getting enough of it. You're not connecting. You seem isolated, and that's not a positive place to be. You can get there. There's all this love around you. I think you're filled with it. I think it's in your external world as well. I think you're killing it with whatever your practical side of your life is. But the thing that's missing is you're not connecting. You need some fire to get your creative juices flowing, and I think that's really going to be the thing that's going to allow you to open the gates of expressing and sharing your emotional side, and that'll help you feel a lot more grounded and positive, and you'll really feel truly a Ten of Cups kind of satisfaction rather than feeling like you're in a water hitting the walls of a dam, and it's like, yeah, the thing is filled, right? The whole dam is doing its job. It's holding the water back, but it's also holding the water back rather than letting it be a forward flow, right? You need to let that spillway open up, and I think tapping into your creative side would be a great way to do that. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. As always, if there are any messages that came through that are different than my interpretations, or if you get more messages from the images of these cards as we're going through this, always use your intuition to see what the message needs to be for you. Right, the messages are received by you, and you are part of that process of seeing what you need to see in these cards. The message is not just me sharing it with you, but it's you receiving it, and there's a creative process in that interpretation. So let that speak to you as it needs to help you get the insights that you need. But I hope I've helped you with this. I hope I've given you some positive insights and encouragement that'll help you navigate whatever it is you're dealing with. And again, if this doesn't resonate with you, just leave it behind. Take the messages that you need to hear and leave the ones that you don't. So as always, please like and subscribe if you have not already. If you have any comments or insights or feedback that you'd like to share, please put those in the comments down below. And if you know anyone that may benefit or enjoy these videos, please share them. And yeah, again, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.